fantastic tutor. Today's tutorial is going to be a continuation of the course ENG 331, and it's still all about semantics and meaning of words. And we're going to be looking at paragraph. We're going to be talking about what makes paragraph, and we're going to be looking at the lexical part of paragraph. All this we'll be learning in this tutorial and a lot more. So with this being said, let's hop straight into it. Okay, so we have so we have a paragraph. Okay. Now when we talk about paragraph, what are we talking about? Okay, now we can relate paragraph to words and synonyms. I think I should even write it on the side, not on here. Okay, just get everything off. As GST 103. Now we have paragraph. Now we can refer to paragraph as explanation of two or more sentences. Explanation of two or more sentences with one meaning. Explanation of two or more sentences with one meaning. I think it was in just a moment. Yeah, I think it's in the course GST 102. Talk about paragraph, talk about topic sentence. You see paragraph is said to be a piece of writing that has a central theme, a central idea, a theme or a topic sentence. So we have that as that. Now let's proceed. Just a moment. Just a moment. I'm trying to fix my notes here. Okay. Now let's proceed. You can also refer to paragraph as it is to sentence what synonyms is to words. It is to sentence what synonyms is to words. Paragraph is to sentence what synonyms is to words. Now, what are we saying here? Paragraph is said to be an explanation of two or more sentences with one meaning. Sentences, explaining sentences with a central topic, with a topic sentence, with one meaning. It is said to be to state sentence, it is to sentence, paragraph is to sentence, what synonyms is to word. Now, when we say synonyms is to word, when we talk about synonyms, it's just like trying to explain one particular word with another, one meaning of word with another word. Okay, Miss Urim, good evening. You're welcome. But this is not actually your class. But it's great to have you on the stream. So, when we talk about synonyms, we're talking about using of other words to explain the meaning of this particular word. There are different words still, saying something similar, just about a word. Now, that is what paragraph is all about. Now, indeed, a sentence can have many paraphrases. Okay, indeed, a sentence. Okay, now let's take this out and let's make it paraphrases. Or let me say paraphrase. Yes, that is the correct thing. Paraphrase. Now, paraphrase, when we talk about paraphrase, was talking about explanation of two or more sentences with one meaning. Now, when we say paraphrase, we talk about it is to sentence what synonyms is to words. Now, for example, when we say synonyms, they can give you synonym of, okay, let's take happiness. We can refer to this as excited. Excited. But it's still one meaning. You understand? Happiness, excited, one meaning, but we are using two different words to explain one meaning. That is what paraphrase is all about. Paraphrase is that they will give you this sentence like we will go to the field by 1 p.m. Now, sentence. Now, paraphrase. This same word, though, or I beg your pardon, this same sentence is what they want us to paraphrase. We are not changing the meaning of the sentence. We are not changing the topic sentence, or we are not changing the sentence itself, but we are going to change the words and still mean the same thing. Now, let's use by 1 p.m. we will go to the field. We will go to the field by 1 p.m. Now we say by 1 p.m. we'll go to the field. Now, can you see it's the same sentence, but now we change it, we use some words. And that's why they use the analogy of synonyms. Synonyms now is happiness, excited. Okay, are we together? So that is it for paraphrase. That is it for paraphrase. Now let's move on. Now we have lexical paraphrases. Now in lexical paraphrases, we have two or more sentences giving the same interpretation as a result of the replacement of one or phrase by another. Now, lexical, let's say lex paraphrase. Now, lex paraphrase. under lex paraphrase, what we have now, we have two or more sentences giving the same interpretation as a result of replacements. Two or more sentences giving what? The same interpretation. As a reason, as a result of replacement of one word or phrase. Okay, so we have that as that. Now, let's take an example of that. The chief hired a bachelor. A bachelor. Now, the chief hired an unmarried man. An unmarried man. Now, can we see the difference? Two or more sentences giving one same interpretation as a result of replacement of one or two phrases. Now, we have a bachelor. Now, we have an unmarried man. That is what lexical phrases means. Lexical paraphrase, I beg your pardon. Now, let's talk about ambiguity. Ambiguity. Now, when we talk about ambiguity, it's said to be when an expression can be given more than one interpretation, then ambiguity arises. Now, ambiguity can be referred to as when an expression can give more than one more than one what? Interpretation, then ambiguity arises. Now let's take an example of that. Now, my team has many goals. Now, that one is even lexical. Let's take foot. Now, this foot now could be animal, could be human, or it could be, let's say, animal, foot of an animal, feet of human, or the foot of a, let's say, yes. Okay, Miss Faith, good evening. I wonder why you are deleting your message. It's great to have you, Miss Faith. Now, that is for ambiguity. When one word can be expressed in different ways, okay, that we can refer to it as ambiguity. Now, we also have lexical ambiguity. Lexical ambiguity occurs when the presence of just a specific word leads to multiple interpretation. When the presence of just one word to multiple interpretation. That lex ambiguity. When just one word leads to the interpretation of many words. Now, let's take for example, the team has many goals. Now, goals could be in the sense that maybe the total numbers of goals this particular team has scored for the season, could be victories. Yes, it might be their goal, their set objectives. You know, it can be their victories, their set objectives, and their success. So this statement now can mean a lot of things. Now, it can mean a lot of things. What's wrong with this? All right, so now let's proceed. Just a moment. Let me use the opportunity and quickly connect my system. Okay. Now let's proceed. And that is for lexical. And we have what we call vagueness. My goodness, why are these people doing this? Vagueness. Now let me erase this. Okay. Now we have vagueness. Now, when we talk about vagueness, it's said to be a sentence is said to be vague when it has no definite meaning. If you can't trace a definite meaning to a sentence, then it's vague. A sentence has no definite. When a sentence has no definite meaning, then it's said to be vague. Now, a vague expression may be grammatically well formed, yet its meaning may be far-fetched. Grammatically correct, but lack meaning. Okay, a vague sentence might be grammatically correct, but the meaning is far-fetched from it. So we have that as that. Now we have tautology. Tautology. I think I remember what tautology is in our MTH 105 in first semester. Tautology. Now, when we say tautology, what are we referring to? Now, tautology is a situation that arises when we have unnecessary repetitions of elements in communications. Unnecessary repetition in elements in the elements of communication. Okay. Now, there is undue emphasis without necessarily making the meaning any clearer. Unnecessary emphasis. Undue emphasis with lack of clarity. Undue emphasis with lack of clarity. Now let's take for example. This bachelor has not been married. Can you imagine that? This bachelor, there's some time, I think it has to do with kind of English or the kind of structured English we speak here. Now let me think of one. Okay, I'm trying to think of some just like, okay, now okay, now I think there's a time I saw something online. British English says wear your shorts. So we're talking about putting on your shorts. Now wear your this other, I think it's American English, we say put on your knicker. But in Nigeria we use the two together, like put on your short knicker. Like, I don't understand. Now we can relate it to this. Now it says here, when you call somebody a bachelor, does it mean the person is married? Let me write it out so we'll understand better. Now this bachelor is unmarried. Oh no, this bachelor has been unmarried. This bachelor has been unmarried. Has been unmarried. Now, you said somebody is a bachelor. Is this really necessary? Using has been unmarried, is it necessary? Has been unmarried. Now, is that necessary? When you call somebody a bachelor, it means the person is not married. See what tautology is all about? This bachelor has been unmarried. Now, we also have the congregation are member of a church. The congregation are member of a church. And we have that under tautology. Now let's talk about presupposition. Have you heard of the word or statement where people will say presupposedly, presumptuously? Now let's talk about what presupposition is all about. Presupposition. All right. In presupposition, there is usually a piece of information which the speaker assumes. The speaker assumes the hearer already knows. Now, there is a piece of information the speaker assumes. Now, in a case like this, the speaker assumes that you should have known or you should have an idea of what he's talking about. So it's all about an information first, and always an assumption. A piece of information starts with assumption. Assumption in the sense that there's the thing about presupposition is that the speaker assumes that you have an idea of what he's talking about. Just like someone talking about National Open University to a now night in our 300 level. I mean, at 300 level, there are a lot of information you have known about your school that you would not have known in your 100 level. So in a situation like that, if the speaker and the audience are communicating, then the speaker is expecting that you, the audience, you have an idea of what he's talking about. Whatever it is he's saying is only developing upon what you have known. So that is what presupposition is all about. It's an assumption that you know about what the speaker is talking about. Now, this assumption is based on some shared background. All right, based on some shared background. Okay, the assumption is based on some shared background, knowledge between the speaker and the hearer. Okay, now let's take example. John, are you able to bring Harry along? Peter, what will be splendid? On our way, we shall pick the drinks. Now, as you can see now, the very first one says, John, are you to bring Harry along? Now, let's take for example. Now, the speaker is John. Okay? He's asking, are you to bring Harry along? Now, whoever the speaker is referring to, the speaker expects, or the speaker is addressing. Okay, now let's even say John is the person the speaker is addressing. Now I'm addressing John, and I'm telling John, are you to bring Harry along? Now I expect that John is a friend of Harry or a brother to Harry. I would, if Harry was not if Harry is not John's brother, or he's not related, or he doesn't even know John, he doesn't even know Harry, from Adam, then I'm not supposed to ask him if he's bringing Harry along. So now I'm asking him because he's related to Harry. Him and Harry has been in contact. So I'm asking him, okay, now, John, are you to bring Harry? Now, John in this case knows Harry, and he can respond by saying no or yes. That is what presupposition. You have an idea of what the speaker is talking about. Now let's proceed. Now we have what is called entailment. Entailment. So we have entailment. Now, in entailment, there is usually a pair of sentences, and the truth of one derives from the truth of the other. Pair of sentences which the truth of one is dependent on the other. All right. There's a pair of sentences which the one is dependent on the other. Now let's take an example. I hope my board is not too dark. it looks like it's very dark already. Can we see the board, or should I switch on my lamp? Can we see the board, or I should switch on my lamp? I need a response. Okay. Thank you for that, Mr. Dami. Now let's proceed. My face is so dark. Now let's proceed. Now, under entailment, Tracy is a spinster. Now, Tracy is a female. Spinster is an unmarried lady. That's what a spinster is. Now, female, spinster, unmarried lady. So we see the connection between the both. Now, let's talk about anomaly. Anomaly. Now, anomaly results from the combination of two semantic features that are not compatible in describing a phenomenon. Anomaly. Anomaly. The combination of two semantic features that are not compatible in describing a phenomenon. Not compatible in describing a phenomenon. That is what anomaly is. Now let's take, for instance, trees are vertical. Trees vertical. Trees are verticals, and ropes are horizontal. Rope are horizontal. Now, for vertical items, we describe them in terms of tall. Then for horizontal items, we describe them as long. Okay, a long man. It would be wrong for you to say, it would be wrong, a long man, a tall snake. So it will be wrong for you to say a man is long and you say a snake is tall. No. The right thing is a snake is this is for this and this is for this. A snake is long and a man is tall. So that is how it is. But when you combine two semantic features that are not compatible, then we say you have committed an anomaly. All right. I think on this note, we'll call it a wrap for this evening. And I'd like to give us an assignment. Now, I want us to now let me give us assignment. We have list 5 examples of tautology. 5 examples of tautology. All right. I think on these notes, we'll call it a wrap. And Miss Celine, you're doing a great job. I received your assignment. I received your, if I'm not mistaken, I received your notes. Thank you very much. You're doing a great job. Just keep up with the tempo. I can assure you the sky is your beginning. Thank you very much, everyone. Let's do out to submit our notes and our assignment as well in the classroom. I look forward to seeing you in subsequent tutorials. Bye-bye.